What's going on? Where am I? Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is Fiercestbard. Hello, hello. We are doing arting today. We are doing the arting today. Yes, we are starting today with this fan art of Ingrid from Street Fighter 6 because we finished the line work for Summer Rappy yesterday, and then also we did get an update on where the coloring is for Mooney for Summer Neon. So we could do Summer Neon today in terms of coloring, but I feel like I might save that for Tuesday. I might save that for next week. Only because I already started doing this line art, so I should just kind of continue doing it. And why stop? Don't stop while the going's good, right? So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But before we begin, we have to give thanks. I know yesterday we did our ritual thank you to Anne Hathaway and Danhausen. Today we do our ritual thank you for Jordan Wood's lucky bag. That orange bag, it brought us a whole long way. We need to give thanks. But yeah, here we go. Let's see. I'm just gonna put that blue tint over everything so I can kind of see what the heck I'm doing. And then yeah, I think we last left off on the hair here. So yeah, this is kind of like weird in that the pose is not one that I normally do. It's upside down too. So it's like I gotta fight through this, and to fight through the sort of like habits that I have for certain types of poses and stuff like that, and just kind of like power through the line art here. But I don't think I'm gonna take as long a time to doing this one though. I just have a feeling that this one might be actually quicker because honestly, her design is not as intricate as a whole lot of mobile game characters. No, miss, what's up? Hello. Hello, how are you doing? How is everything? What is going on in No Miss's world? But yeah, like, this one should be okay in terms of length of time needed. Making dinner, I should make dinner in a bit. I don't get to make dinner for a while, because I gotta do the art first. And then be hungry. Though I don't know if I should make dinner tonight. Maybe I should get something from the outer world, Like, there's a case to be made that perhaps making dinner is not what I need to do today. But we shall see, But yeah, what are you planning on making for dinner, if you don't mind me asking? I don't know why I tried to do the goofy voice there. I don't know. But yeah, like, today was the Capitan Mango Sentinels victory parade. They had the really big parade. It was like really crazy. People were climbing all over the place to get a look at the parade because there were just so many people there, apparently, that some people decided that safety was of no concern. So they climbed up on the light poles as well as the scaffolding folding for the buildings that are in under construction and stuff like that. It was kind of crazy. Like, you could tell all those people were getting tickets out. like the cops could not do anything about it when it was happening, but it was one of those things where they couldn't get down until the crowd dissipated, and by the time they could get down, you could tell the cops were going to be waiting for them at the bottom and like going, okay, I hope that was worth it for you. Which, like, I'm not gonna lie, for a lot of those fans, probably it was. Probably it was. I did not go to the parade myself, though. I had to go to work. in the morning. It was a little bit too early too. Plus, people, I heard people were waiting since like 2 a.m. in the morning. They went out there at like 2 a.m. in the morning just to get to reserve their spot in the parade, which is like really crazy, right? Um, I originally was like, oh, hopeful about at least seeing it in person because I was like, oh, like I could just like take a peek going to work, but I don't go to work. I'm very fortunate in that I don't work in the office, as it were. So that was never gonna happen. It was never gonna happen. But it's okay, for everyone that was able to go, like it seemed like the whole thing was a whole lot of fun. The Mango Sentinels, their owner decided to act like a weirdo during the speech, though, and say certain things that are like, what is up with you, man? Like, geez. Seriously, like, what the hell? But we've come to expect that from that owner. He kind of has his moments where it's like it's one of those things where, as a fan of the Mango Sentinels, you kind of just like you try to forget it, and then they go ahead and they remind us why we just are kind of like so that, but it's okay, other than that, it seemed like a great parade, and we have next year to look forward to, unless of course you are one of those people who follow a lot of sports stuff, and you go in the off season, you're like into all the trades and rumors and stuff like that. If you're into that stuff, then you know that perhaps this is not going to be the off season of sorry, hold on. Perhaps you know that this is not going to be the off season of rest, because like I think what it is with sports is that when you get to the off season, right? A lot of people think, oh, the games are over, so nothing's happening, right? But actually, the off season for sports, right, tends to be the time when a lot of teams are like reloading their rosters. They're making changes. They're doing things because of the draft, like allowing them to select players that are new coming out of high school and college and whatnot, right? So actually the off season can actually be a really tense time for a lot of teams, especially long suffering teams, like because this is the time when the owners and the general managers of the teams that everybody likes, they basically fight a different kind of war as opposed to the in season war of the games themselves. This is the time when they are like doing all the loopholing that they can possibly do to make sure that their team comes out the other end and begins the season like with new stuff that will hopefully excite the fan base. Though like it gets harder and harder every year to be excited for it, though, because in general it's only great when there's like a really crazy free agency signing, or if there's like a draft pick that's like generationally awesome being picked, but that's only for like one or two teams, right? Like it's never for a whole lot of teams out there. So like a lot of the long suffering teams will be left to suffer still, to just waiting for the season to begin, and then hoping that their team is horrible enough that they'll be able to pick somebody good next year. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, it's a very vicious cycle of self-loathing that just permeates itself over the year and just continues to any sport. I'm talking about any sport here, Novus. This is like every sport. I should say every team sport. I shouldn't say every sport, every team sport, because certain sports don't have these issues, right? Like depending on, like if they're solo sports and stuff like that. Like you're not gonna hear these things from like a fan of say tennis, right? Unless it's like doubles or something, right? But yeah, like I'm specifically referring to basketball right now myself, but you can apply this to any specific team sport like football, soccer, baseball and stuff like that. I know a lot of people in Cappy Town are also very excited because of the what is it, the World Cup, right? Like, I have never been a huge fan of the footy, or how whatever you guys call it. I've never been a huge fan of it myself personally, but I have a lot of friends who are, and they are going crazy right now. I think there's a lot of hype for certain teams. I could be wrong here, but I'm hearing Mexico and South Korea right now, right? Is that what it is? I don't know the real football. New York Jets need help. Oh man, I don't follow American football as so much. I know what happens with around the time the Super Bowl hits and stuff like that, but that's about my extent of following American football. To be honest, like I really don't know all that much about it. Other than when the Super Bowl is gonna happen, and then I watch commercials after the Super Bowl airs. I don't even really. I've gone to a couple of Super Bowl parties before. I've never actually like, kind of like been there because I was like a huge fan or anything like that. It was usually because some like friends were watching and stuff like that. Though there were one or two instances like when that year that the Giants were playing the Patriots and stuff like that, where we all decided to have a watch party for that and stuff like that. So there are times when I will partake, but it's not as quite
Emotional
as
damage.
emotional as the damage that I get when I get raided by Mooney. Hello Mooney, how are you? Yeah, let's give the shout out to the person who I don't actually know who this person is. I don't know why they're raiding me. Oh, you just finished it? You found the end. You had to explore to get to the ending of the game. Is that what it is? But yeah, hello raiders. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Fiercestbard. I am a V artist here on Twitch today, and I am doing the arting right now. I'm actually working on this fan art of Ingrid from Street Fighter 6. It's very early in the line art stages, but we're getting there. But yeah, like it looked like you were fighting some bosses for a while there. I was able to peek at your stream for a little bit from time to time before I had to like go back to work today and stuff. And yeah, like it seemed like you were fighting that boss for like an eternity. But you still had to go and find the ending. Hopefully you enjoyed that though. Like it seemed like you were having a lot of fun with that game in particular, because I think it's the it's not like it's the first new thing that you played, but in terms of JRPGs, you were playing some remakes there for a little bit, right? Like so this is the first original RPG that you played in a bit, right? Not really. The boss just had 3 parts, but the second part was the hardest. Oh yeah, that's right. This is the remake too, isn't it? I forget. This is also Captain Blue Blue. Hello, what's up? How you doing? Welcome in. as you can see, I am today working on this artwork of Ingrid from Street Fighter 6. Did I get the DLC and start using Ingrid for a little bit? Yes. Do I play Street Fighter 6 actively? No. I did try her out. She was really good. I got her B&Bs down, but I'm not an active player of Street Fighter or fighting games, I should say, in general these days. Unfortunately, I have to focus on the arting. But it doesn't stop me, even though I have to focus on the arting, it doesn't stop me from drawing the characters, right? That doesn't stop me, right? Unless, of course, you think it should. Oh, I think I made this part of her hair too long. As a Scandinavian, I can now judge on how you represent her. Okay. Yeah, you can be the judge. Though in game, it seems like she's very much a she's very much like a I would say like a gremlin of various types, like, right? Like she's very like fourth wall breaky and like, that type of archetype of a character that a lot of people seem to like the way that Deadpool is, but this is just Capcom's Deadpool as opposed to being a comic book character. That's cool. I have never played Street Fighter myself. Oh, okay, yeah. It's like, so, just to give some of you guys context of who Ingrid actually is, right? Ingrid was actually a character created from in the very late 90s to the early 2000s by Capcom, right? She was originally created as a different character for a game that was canceled when they were trying to migrate the Street Fighter series into a 3D fighting game series instead of being a 2D fighting game series with sprite art and stuff like that, right? They created Ingrid as one of the characters for one of 3 new characters that were called the Code Holders, right? Like they were supposed to be like these like super powerful like boss fighters for this game series called Capcom Fighting. Wait, what did they eventually... It was... I forgot what the original name of it was called, but eventually the game became Capcom Fighting Evolution, which was a crossover game with various characters from different Capcom fighting game titles, right? Like Darkstalkers, what was it? Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, and then also like something called Red Earth, which a lot of people in the West never played, right? She's one of the few who knows they are in a game. Yes, she's actually one of the few characters that realizes that they're in a game. And she even has voice lines in the new Street Fighter 6 where she references this old game that she was in because she knows who Ryu is from meeting him in that game, but Ryu doesn't know who she is because in this quote unquote timeline, he never met her and stuff like that, right? So it looks like they've rebranded Ingrid from being this cold holder character from those old games, right? Because they couldn't really figure out like who she was in those games, right? So what they ended up doing was making her sort of like a goddess character. So she's like I can't really explain like it because it's like it's never been solidified what she actually is, right? In this game, she seems like a fifth dimensional being or like an alien or something like that who just happens to have like these really godly powers and stuff like that, and she uses them to go around and basically have fun. That's like her whole thing, right? And she joins this fighting game tournament for some reason, and just to like reminisce, I guess, of some of the good old times, I guess, in Street Fighter 6. It's just a very strange approach towards her character. So she's one of the very few characters that actually does know that she's in a video game right now. and stuff. So it's kind of weird. Like even her, if you play the arcade mode with her, she has like a an animation that happens when you lose and stuff like that, where she's actually talking to you, the player, about, you know, not letting the timer run out, because if the timer goes all the way to 0, then you can't continue, right? So she's actually talking to the player the entire time. She has like an entire animation like that's dedicated to that, you know, in their content. If you are a god, why not Smurfs on people in a tournament? You know, why not, right? I guess why not? She did also appear briefly in the Street Fighter series before this, in actually the version of Street Fighter Alpha 3 for the Game Boy Advance or PlayStation Portable. I forgot which one it came out first for. I think it was the PlayStation Portable. That's the version of Street Fighter Alpha 3 called Alpha Max, right? Where they added a couple of characters to the game, including Ingrid, who retained her sprites from Fighting Evolution. And it's in that game where they had like a mistranslation of the story mode, right? Which made people believe that her power was the origin of the psycho power that M. Bison uses in the game. But that was actually a mistranslation in the story mode. It's not... that wasn't what it was. It was actually that Bison stole a portion of her power to power the Psycho Drive, which is what he was trying to use to power himself to take over the world. It's not that she was the origin of M. Bison's power. So it's like there was a lot of really weird like storyline stuff with her that they never really solidified. So I guess because of that, they just kind of decided to make her character like really out there, because it's like, you know, they just never figured it out, so why bother now, right? I noticed you had Fuwawa on the art on the side. What about... Oh, actually, you know what? Blue here. Check it out, actually. So, I drew Fuwawa and Mokoko, like, when did I draw them in there? Like late last year, towards the end of the summer. I think that's when I drew the both of them, right? And if it will load up, if I'm lucky. There we go, yeah! Like, this is in my my era of realizing that I can't draw one without the other. And I'm starting to realize that with a lot of the VTuber art that I do, where it's like I drew Cecilia, but I didn't draw Gigi, right? So I think I need to actually draw an image with the both of them in there, and I really need to work on keeping my my duos or trios and stuff like that. I need to finish groups. is actually what I should be saying, and this is something that I've been trying to work on. That's why when I did the line work for the characters from Goddess of Victory Nikkei, that I did Anis, I did Neon, and then I did one for Rappy, because it's like I need to finish groups. This is something that I've been finding out about going to what is it? Going to artist alleys and participating in artist alleys, because I would always get questions about it, like, oh, you know, you have this character, but do you have this character, right? And it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Why don't I have that character, right? It's like, you know, so so this is like part of my training arc in terms of art, in learning to complete sets. That's what I will call it. It's Bard learning to complete sets. So yeah. Auto Fister are iconic together. You know, yeah. And it's like, you know, I did draw wait, where is it? I did draw Cecilia, like, is this the new version? No, this is not the new version. But I can show the older version before I well, actually, no. You know what? This is the newer version. But I did draw Cecilia last year too, right? And I did have to fix her a little bit because I wasn't quite happy with the way that I drew her face there. I think like let me just remove some stuff if I can. Yeah, like originally I had it like this, but then I decided to change the jaw shape there, so we ended up with this look at the end, you know. One of those I didn't like at first, but she really warmed up on me. I think yes, I think so, you know. Like I actually always really liked her design because I actually am very into the color scheme here. So, you know, like it was one of those things that was like immediately what stuck out to me in the first place with her character. um but yeah, you know, like I really wanted to um like really like work on completing sets and stuff like that. Now the interesting part about drawing Ingrid here is that there's no set here. I don't need to do that with her, but I gotta like, you know, like whenever I draw certain characters, right? Like, you know, I have to make sure that, you know, I don't forget about anybody that people like with them. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of an interesting like thing to think about as an artist, right? Especially again, now that I'm participating participating in more artist alleys. I say was. If you guys know what's going on with the drama right now, then I think you know. I mean, okay, I don't really need to be as quiet about it because I think it's not like it is a big deal, but it's also like one of those things where I drama. Yeah. Okay, so to explain, earlier this year I was applying to a lot of artist alleys, right? I got into a couple earlier in the year that I've been doing. We were at Carrier Con, and then we were at Anime North and stuff like that, right? So we did a couple of artist alleys, and I was really happy, to do them per usual and stuff like that. Well, I got super excited this year because towards the middle of the year I applied to a VTuber convention to do the artist alley there, right? This convention is called Anki, which was a new they're a very new convention. They're a very new convention, first year and stuff like that, right? At for themselves, and they want to be like an East Coast alternative. And when I say East Coast, I mean East Coast in the United States, right? So they wanted to be an East Coast alternative to, say, like Offkai and some of the other VTuber conventions that recently happened, right? So it was kind of interesting, and they were at some of the conventions that I attended, right? And actually, I believe I spoke to one of their committee or organizational staff while I was at Carrier Con and stuff like that. So like they've been advertising themselves for a while, and I was actually kind of interested because I like one of the things about it is that as a newer artist to artist alleys, you want to be able to participate in a lot of different events and stuff like that, just to build up your portfolio of going to events. And then on top of that, I really do believe that we need more VTuber conventions, like on the East Coast, because most of them are staying on the West Coast side, and as I believe, Have you seen the Immerhater plushie video, by the way? It's a minute of gold. Oh, I should check that out. Do you know what it's actually called? Like, or something like that? I can look it up in a little bit. Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah. If you can find it, yeah. But yeah, so continue with the story. Like I have a lot of hopes. I had a lot of hopes. For things happening this year, right? So I ended up applying for this convention on Key. I applied for it as soon as the Artist Alley applications went up, and again, like I got to give my business card to their staff, and I took theirs and stuff like that, and it's like, they were really nice too, like, when I met them. I just happened to be in the Artist Alley at CarrierCon, and so I actually got in. This was actually really exciting for me because you apply to a lot of Artist Alleys around, right? Like you apply to different Artist Alleys, and you get a lot of rejections, right? But for me, this one was like, oh shoot, it's like a VTuber one. Like it's specifically catering to the VTuber community and stuff like that, right? So I'm really excited about this, and plus the fact that I was doing a lot of VTuber fan art at the time and stuff like that, right? So it's like, it just kind of goes in hand in hand with like the focus of what I do and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of like really excited. Plus the fact that, previously I got into the other Artist Alleys, right? Like, because like, oh, okay, so these opportunities came up and I was asked, right? And stuff like that, right? And like, oh, okay, so I took those opportunities. But this one was one of the first, like, what I believe was like at the time was like, oh, this is like a major convention. So I got in to a major convention, so I was like really hyped for it, right? Like in a lot of ways, and like that's what that was my like basically that was my feelings on it at the time. So I was really happy to have gotten in on the East Coast, because like I gotta tell you, every convention that I've gone to, I've had to travel like really super far for. So it was almost nice that I was gonna be able to, not have to fly somewhere to go to a convention. Like, like even though it's not quite local to Cappy Town, it was still like a journey that was not the farthest that it could possibly be, right? So I was like really hyped up for this and stuff like that, right? And so I was like getting stuff, like a lot of this artwork that I'm doing even now, right, is preparation for, future opportunities, if I could have them, at other, like Artist Alley tables. Like I'm trying to diversify like the type of games that I do and things like that, and the other VTubers and things like that. Like you guys know that, like, for example, like a lot of the fan art that I do was very Hololive focused, right, when it came to VTubers, right? But now I'm trying to do like a couple of fan arts of other indie creators as well, like people that like I find that are really cool and funny and stuff like that. Like I did one of Zentreya like a while ago and stuff like that, and like that was really cool. And I did one of Mint and stuff like that. So I'm trying to broaden and stuff like that. Oh yes, that's right, I need to send you Rappy. I do. Okay, I'll send you right after this. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I was really excited for this one because I wasn't really getting accepted into the other Artist Alleys that I was applying to, and that's the norm, by the way, guys. I'm not saying that because I'm like, oh, that really sucks. That is actually the norm. If you are in the business of trying to get into Artist Alleys, it is hard. like it's so competitive. Like I have to up my game like crazy in order to compete with the people who have already been doing this for a while. So, that's just to give you kind of like some background on, why I applied to do the Artist Alley here at this convention, right? So, as of recent, it seems it's hard unless you are a bigger named person. Yeah, like if you're a bigger named person, it's quite a bit easier, because you have the reach and you also have the experience and all the other stuff that like that lets you, and you may also already have the history of going to a lot of artist alleys already, right? So like history is also a thing that they look into, because that's what basically builds your portfolio for these types of things, right? So I'm like, I was very happy about getting into this convention, for those very, very reasons. It's like, oh shoot, like this is the one that I was like, oh, working quite hard to get into, because I was like, I gave in an application for some of the really big conventions out there, like Anime NYC and all that other stuff, right? I apply anyway, knowing that I probably am not getting in, but it's like it's one of those things where you want to build that history of applying, right? So that they can see you tried last year, so like you want to build up like the portfolio of, well, not portfolio, but rather the history of actually going to apply for any of these events, so that they can see that you're trying over and over and stuff like that. Anime North was proof that Bard can do a larger con. Yeah, Anime North was actually surprising, like for me, because for a while there I was very tentative, because I was like, well, some people would come by and some people would buy a print or two, and like that's kind of my whole convention experience, right, as an artist alley artist, right? But actually I felt like Anime North was like, that one was proof that like, okay, I can do this. I just need to be able to be more consistent, right? Like with the stuff that I have, and have more product than what than what I normally carry with me and stuff like that, right? Bard's art is good enough for any con, I think. Oh, thanks, Blue Blue. Like I really appreciate that. Like, we as artists always struggle with confidence. We'll always struggle with confidence in terms of arting and stuff like that. It's just kind of the nature of things, right, for being an artist and stuff like that. So like any kind of affirmations really help help for any artist. I'm not gonna lie, like it. And plus, I do appreciate you guys too, like I don't ever want you guys to think that, oh, like you just have to give praise to Bard but forget you guys, right? No, I do, because like, again, like we wouldn't have these affirmations if you guys weren't here, right? So, but yeah, so it was like, recently, actually, as of the last few days, surprisingly, as of the last few days, with the Mango Sentinels won the NBA title, so something had to happen, right? The universe had to balance itself, it can't just be all good things, right? There's a lot of controversy happening with that convention now, on Key, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now, I'm not gonna say anything yet, because the thing is, for me, I hope that they can right the ship right now. Like, I don't know what's going on in the behind the scenes with them. I don't know everything. I just have a peripheral view of what's going on, because I happen to be in contact with them, because I not direct contact. I'm in their Discord. And it's because I'm a part of the artist alley that was accepted for that event, right? So they invited everybody to join their Discord. So I was like, oh, okay, they have a Discord, so let me get my butt in there so that I can stay informed in case stuff is happening. Well, stuff is certainly happening right now because there are quite a few of the sponsors for the convention have pulled out of the convention. And what does that mean for the everyone that's participating at the convention? Well, it means a whole lot, because the convention itself, how is it being funded now? You know what I mean? Like, how are they gonna do this convention when their sponsors are pulling out? And it's not just their sponsors. A lot of their guests are pulling out as well, due to many different reasons. We are all waiting for an official statement. They've made a couple of statements already, and people have been reporting those statements on Twitter. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spread misinformation, here and stuff like that, right? You could find those statements yourself, and you could probably form your own opinion about what's going on. But I'm gonna wait a little bit more for like a more official word from the convention staff and all the others that are there that are dealing with this right now. And it's because, again, like, you don't want to you always have hope, right, for different things, right? Like, you always want to give them the benefit of the doubt, because honestly, it's not like I personally know these people, but like, they were very, very positive and passionate about this event happening and stuff like that. And it seemed like they really wanted this to be very, like, a very good thing, right? So like, again, there were various people who were commenting in the Discord chat. Amongst them were a couple of people, more experienced convention peoples, and as well as other businesses that are trying to help out behind the scenes, I think. Again, I don't really want to speak for anybody, so I'm not mentioning names or anything and stuff like that, right? But it feels like people want this to work, but it seems like the inexperience of the staff is hitting at a very bad time for this and stuff like that. So I don't know if we are even gonna I don't know if we're even gonna go at this point, because, again, with what I've been hearing behind the scenes and what they are proposing as fixes for certain things, right, it doesn't sound like... Okay, I will just say that one of the big controversies is that because this is kind of known. Everybody on Twitter is talking about this, so this is actually kind of known. Being at cons sounds stressful. I wouldn't be able to handle it. It is. There's a lot of people at conventions and stuff like that, right? So there is a part of it that's stressful, but there's also parts of it that, like, it really depends, right? Like, because just like any business, right, there are going to be very busy parts of the day, and then also very quiet parts of the day and stuff like that, right? And so like, that's the convention experience. And depending on how things are going, it could be the most stressful thing in the world, but also it could be very rewarding too once once things start rolling for you, right? Like, as a creator and and whatnot. And like, the convention experience is always fun. for a lot of people. Like, it's, if you're able to get away from your table, let's say, right? Like for me, if I'm able to get away from the table, I can actually walk around and you know, do stuff. Unfortunately, for the last convention, I really couldn't. But you know, like that's kind of what you expect, right? Like for a lot of conventions, you know, like how things go with certain conventions, right? But anyway, like going back to it, I know I can say this much. There is a big controversy with one of the sponsors with the convention, right? And this is a huge concern for me as an artist, because I know that people will say that us artists are all very hyper emotional and reactive when it comes to AI stuff, right? I know that that's the thinking on, because I've seen a lot of comments from people that are saying, "Oh, you guys are complaining about AI stuff again. Oh my god, why?" and stuff like that. But you know, like, we don't really have a choice but to be very firm and very thoroughly against any association with AI stuff, right? And the controversy here is not that we think that Anki itself uses AI. They put a very anti-AI stance on their website, right? Which, you know, we get it. You guys don't want to use the AI. You don't condone it or anything. You're not allowing it at the convention. But the problem is the sponsor that is the big sponsor for you guys is very pro AI, and they even have, you know, they have even written articles and things like that about using AI and how to do it, right, and stuff like that. So it seems like while they, how do I explain it? It's like while they don't condone the presence of AI art at their convention, they're at the same time being funded by a company that is pushing it. Even if they do fund and sponsor the quote-unquote real artists, right, they still have a history of being like, this is great stuff, you know, like the computer can do it for us, things like that. And it's not stuff that's kind of like hard to find about their company on the interwebs, right? And this question, amongst other questions, became like a very hot topic with this convention, because like some of the bigger guests and sponsors dropped out, and they made announcements on Twitter about it, right? And the reasons that they dropped out are private, but it led to other questions and other things that there are really no answers for, like, or at least not answers that are that others have been happy with and stuff like that. And then you know, the disappearance of certain people, like they're being very unclear about what's going on, and now it's kind of snowballing, like, because one question leads to 5 more, and those 5 questions are leading to 20 more, and nobody's getting any answers about any of it. And at the same time, you know, there's like safety concerns, and there's certain guests that were invited that are apparently uninvited but not really, or something like that. Like, there's all sorts of stuff happening, you know. Thank you, Merriman. Oh yeah, Saya, you saw that. Did you see that speech? Holy, yo! I thought I was watching The Force Awakens. No joke. I thought that was like I thought that was General Hux's speech during the First Order. like that was a crazy speech. It was so like whoa, what the heck is going on with that speech? That was like, yeah, that was 100% aura. That was crazy. But you know what? He was actually saying the things that a lot of the Mango Sentinels fans were thinking. I mean, Look. When you're a fan of this team, you're the only thing that you can think about is all the bad things that happened over the years, okay? You never really think about the good things because the good things don't happen until they actually do, and then you don't know what to do with yourself. The organization was kind of L. Some students couldn't cross to their exams first. Oh yeah, I heard about that. There was I didn't realize that they were still doing the Regents exam too. That's really crazy to me. But anyway, I heard that like one student was just trying to get across the street, and because they really needed to get to their exam, and they got arrested, so they must have missed it at that point. I hope their school gives them a retake, because that's, I don't think that you should be academically punished for trying to get through a parade because you need to get to your your school and to take a very super important test, right? That could affect like quite literally affect your life, right? Yeah, like or something, right? Like they can either like maybe give them like a retake or something, just something to help them out, because that's messed up, But I think things like that are gonna happen, like that's the problem. Like when you're dealing with crowds that are that big and stuff like that, right? But yeah, like speaking about dealing with crowds that are that big, yeah, there's a lot of concerns, like around the safety of participants at said convention that I was talking about, right? And like Cappy and the Knicks jersey. You know what? I don't know why. I don't know why I don't have that. I probably should. I probably should have drawn one and stuff like that. I probably should have drawn one to put on this Cappy model, which Mooney so very graciously created for me and stuff. I would not be physically here and present if Mooney didn't create this. I should have probably drawn one. Time to make one. I know, right? It really is time to make one, especially since I can finally take down. Like, so I have a Jalen Brunson jersey that I never wore it and stuff like that, right? Like, it was a jersey that I bought when they first signed Jalen Brunson, right? And I'm happy to say that I was a believer from day one. I actually bought it about, I think, like 2 or 3 months after they signed him, when they finally started to actually roll them out and stuff like that, right? And the reason that I bought it was because, like, I had just seen his run, in the playoffs against Utah, and like on the Mavs. At the time, I was actually not. I would actually watch some of the Mavs games because I would actually like the Dallas Mavericks, right? Because they had Luka at the time and stuff like that. And Luka was actually one of my favorite players at the time. So I was like watching that and watching Luka go down. It was like, oh, I guess that's kind of it. But then Brunson kind of carried them during that playoff run. So it's like I didn't think that he was gonna be what he is now. But I believe that he was like good enough to be like, man, that's yeah, day one Brunson, yeah, seriously, I'm coming someone to put Jalen Brunson in the Dark Knight armor. Oh, no. But yeah, so I bought the jersey, but then it's like I just never wore it because I have like so admittedly too, I'm also one of those people that get really invested like super early in things, right? So I literally have a Kristaps Porzingis jersey. I have an RJ Barrett jersey. Those things are somewhere in my house. I don't know where they are, but they're somewhere in my house. But I will admit that I also get very early investment into certain things that I don't have a very good I don't have a very good streak of picking my favorite players, okay? Let's just say. But my first playoffs was last year, so I knew he was a dog. Oh, yeah. Like, if you had been following his career trajectory, especially if you were watching the Mavericks during that series against Utah, the moment Luka went down, that should have been it. And then Brunson actually carried them through that series, and ironically against Donovan Mitchell. So it's like, like, this is also like a perennial story. It feels like Donovan Mitchell, and quite frankly, I really like Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's also one of those players that's like, oh man, wish that he could have come. There was a way to get him, but Cleveland got to him first, right? But it's like one of those things where it's like, oh wow, JB's always got Donovan Mitchell's number. Now that I said that, I probably jinxed it, but actually I don't give a shit about any jinxes anymore. Which leads me back to the jersey. I can finally touch the jersey. It's just been sitting on top of my door. Like, I've never worn it. I've never touched it. Like, well, okay, I can't say I've never touched it because I've opened the door before, right? So, like, I probably brushed up against it, like, from time to time and stuff like that, right? So, but it's one of those things that I've always kept in my house, but I never moved. It still has the tags on it and everything. I might actually have an excuse to actually cut the tags off now and stuff like that. And it was a swingman jersey. It wasn't even the cheap replica ones, right? It was one of the pricier ones. Yeah. Can't wear it now? Why not? You don't want to jinx the Magic for their back-to-back now? Oh no. Well, crazy what happens when you have a competent center. Yeah, it really is crazy. Like, I feel like, the discourse around the NBA is that it's still the big man's game. Like, you need a really good quality center, per usual, but also, like, positionless play has been, the thing for a while now, right? So, we'll see what happens next year. But, for this year, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the results this year. To the point where I think I feel like I want to play NBA 2K now again. I haven't played an NBA 2K game in eternity. I've literally not touched one in so freaking long. But now I'm like, I kind of think I want to play one now. It's like, like, I wouldn't mind playing one right now, Basketball is a tall man's game. I think they should have height brackets. There's also that new NBA game too. Yeah. But yeah, like, again, Jalen Brunson, Mooney doesn't understand. Mooney doesn't understand because she doesn't watch basketball, right? But she has caught me calling him my short king. Quite a few times. He's not actually that short. He's 6'2". That's a very tall individual. But in the NBA, they might. That's not very tall. So I've actually used the terms big-headed short king to refer to Jalen Brunson quite often. I legit liked basketball in elementary school, but I was too short to play outside of gym class. I did too. As a young cappy, I actually had my gym class was actually basketball gym. I actually tried in high school. I was never any good, by the way. I sucked so bad. But like, I just enjoyed playing the game, like, and sometimes all that matters is that you enjoy yourself, like, I wasn't thinking that I was going to join the team or anything like that, though they were recruiting for the team in the basketball gym, like the course that I was in, but it was just for fun, like, and for me, like, I did try to play basketball throughout my youth. Again, not any good because it is a tall person's game, right? But the discourse around that was part of the reason why Jalen Brunson was getting so much heat about from a lot of people and doubt, right? Like a lot of people didn't believe that he could lead a team to the NBA Finals because of his height and stuff like that. And a lot of people are now they need to line up and submit their apology forms now. Because you know, like we already saw Stephen A. Smith give in his apology form. My mother collected Jordan memorabilia and recorded playoff Bulls games back then, so we were always into basketball. Oh, really? That's neat. My one of my best friends actually was huge into Jordan. He was a huge Jordan fan. He had a lot of stuff like the jerseys, the cards, everything. Like he was really into Jordan. And yes, that was around the time when I became a fan of basketball as well. Like I got to see Jordan destroy everyone, including the Mango Sentinels. So yeah, was rough years. Me first in line kneeling. Oh no. But yeah, those years were crazy, and you know, like, there was a lot of painful memories from those years. All the different crazy things that happened, all the almost but not quite moments but we can put all those to rest. I just needed this one in my life. Does she recall his base occurrence? Oh no! No, nobody needs to remember that. Nobody needs to remember that. Sadly, no. He wasn't playing baseball. He was playing basketball against the Monstars. Remember? That's what the movie told us, right? And a few Wizards games too. My favorite stories though always come back to some of the players when they would reminisce about certain stories with that featured MJ and stuff like that. Like there are a couple, like Kevin Garnett's rookie story about when he first when they were having a really good game against Michael Jordan. That one's a classic. That dude's a comedian, man. He knows how to tell a story. And what's this guy? Oh, the story about when the Grizzlies were almost beat the Bulls during their 72-10 season, right? That story is also classic too because of the way it ends. And it was the Vancouver Grizzlies who unfortunately are now the Memphis Grizzlies, but you know that's another story. But yeah, like some of those crazy Jordan stories that they tell now are just like insane, and you know, like I think a lot of people would get a kick out of hearing them. The only problem though is like language. It's not like I could actually play those stories here because number one, it's not my content to play, and then number two, also language. Like I would have to put quite a few advisory warnings here with some of those stories. It's amazing that his baseball career went so badly that Hollywood had to retcon it. No, they didn't retcon it. That's actually what happened. What are you talking about? There's no retcons here. He clearly was playing baseball and then he got kidnapped by a rich cartoon evil warlord guy, and you know, and he. Oh wait, no. It wasn't the evil rich guy that kidnapped him. It was Bugs Bunny, actually. That's right. That's right. He didn't get kidnapped by the bad guys. The bad guys just stole all his friends' powers, and then Bugs Bunny had to come in and get him. Yeah, the team didn't get rid of him. He was just busy in space. Yeah, clearly. But yeah, sports is always going to be full of so many what ifs, you know? Um but it's okay. It's okay. That's kind of why it's part of the reason why so many people like to watch it and stuff like that. I will say that for me personally, um I I am super happy that they finally won it, and they finally won it within my lifetime. That's the other thing, right? Like, there was actually a belief amongst a lot of fans that we would just literally never see it happen. Like, this franchise was so horribly, like, I don't know if it's mismanaged or bad luck or something. There was just something going on that like, I think they were cursed or something. It was just like a non-stop, like, revolving door of players, management, as well as like, things like, you would think that something good was happening, and then, no joke, like, right, everything turns on a dime suddenly, and then the worst things possible could happen. Like, like, even with more recent examples, like, well, this is not recent anymore, but, like, with Lin Sanity, everybody was all into Jeremy Lin for those couple of weeks when it happened and stuff like that, right? Then, he gets hurt, they get bounced from the playoffs, right? The summer happens, and then the Rockets offer him a contract with a poison pill at the end. A poison pill contract, for those of you who don't know, is basically like, you put something at the end of the contract, right? Which makes the contract so bad for the team that currently owns the player and their service, right? That if they match that contract, then they get handicapped in the year that bad thing happens, right? So the Knicks chose not to match that contract, and they lose Jeremy Lin for nothing. Now, granted, it's not as though Jeremy Lin's career, like, he didn't become this amazing superstar or anything like that, right? But he was locked in and playing for the team, and he had a coach that worked well with his play style. And it's like, sometimes, like, I know that a lot of people will make comments about, oh, he's a product of the system. Well, yeah, good. You know what I mean? If the system is working, and, like, why complain about that, right? It's like, I really don't understand why people get upset about a player. Oh, they're not that good because they're a product of that system. But if the system is working for them and you're running that system well, like, then that's good. Like, nobody ever says that about John Stockton and Karl Malone, right? Like, they were a product of of that system that they were running in Utah all those years, right? Like, why does that have to be a bad thing, right? Like, like, I just don't understand it. So, like, like, again, bad things happen, like, all the time, inexplicably, and nobody could explain why it would always happen. I just think maybe because we have one of the worst owners ever for our team, and, like, the bad luck, it continues. It continues in very small ways, like, let's just say, with sometimes, and, that's kind of what it is, right? The team didn't get rid of him. He was busy in space. You tried to play on the player's greed. Yeah, like, there's a lot of, and this summer too, for the Knicks, right? There's gonna be a lot of ramifications that come out of this run. Like, the way that the salary cap works, and this is turning into freaking Sports Center. I'm sorry for everybody that's here for the arting. But yeah, like, but yeah, there's a lot of salary cap ramifications that are coming out of this run, right? We might not be able to run it back with the same team, which is gonna be sad and stuff like that. But I have I have faith. I have faith in Leon Rose. I have faith in the organization now. Despite the owner, who but they that James Dolan is taking a step back from trying to run the team and letting Leon Rose run the team as he needs it to run and stuff like that, right? So I have some faith in the team to be able to put together something good to replace the people that we will likely be losing because of the salary cap situation. But like, they've done it before, and I think they can do it again, especially since there are some people on the bench, some players on the bench that are like, it's their time. I think they're ready. Like, they didn't get much play in the playoffs, but they showed flashes. And like, I think now that they some of them are in their third year, I think things will pan out very well for them. So as long as they get an opportunity and they stay locked in, this should be good. But yeah, I'm sorry, this is like turning into Sports Center. I'm I'm like going on and on about this, but like, that's how excited I am as a fan of the sport. Like, it's been a long while since I've had a reason to be excited and happy watching basketball, even though I've never really went away from the sport. But I definitely don't have the type of fandom that I once did, for sure, for a while there, at least I should say. The Happy Cappy, yeah, very. As you guys can tell, it was like one of the things in my life that I was just kind of like, it was like, everything's going pretty good right now, but this is the one thing that has to be, like, I guess, sacrificed for that, right? For that joy, right? So, but as it turns out, no, it wasn't. It was actually a different thing that needs to be sacrificed right now for, like, to balance the universe, right? But hey, like, I'm hoping for the best for some of the other teams that are around. We live in an era of parity in the league right now. Like, a lot of teams have an opportunity, because we haven't had a repeat champion in 8 years now, even, right? Like, oh well, it's gonna be like the ninth year next year, right? If well, it depends, right? But the salary cap situation, making it so that the Knicks can't return with the same team, might mean that someone else is gonna win next year and stuff like that, right? So, like, you never know. Some good things might happen. Maybe the Lakers will make some good decisions, and Luka will finally be able to run the team, or they're going to make the decision that I'm hoping that they won't do, and try to run it back with one of their older players. and like, I just don't see how that's gonna end well for them. But like, if they think because granted, like, LeBron did carry them through that first round playoff series, but they have to also remember the context behind his carry job. Like, nobody really thinks that they're gonna be able to do anything afterwards, right? Like, it was kind of obvious that they were just gonna get like the Oklahoma City Thunder were just, they were just going to destroy them in the next series. So it's like, I don't think that that's a recipe for success. I think they really have to think about how to build their team around the pieces that they will have there long term. And they have a very hard decision to make, so we'll see. And then, like, all this talk about Giannis possibly going to Boston is like, oh wow, I wonder when that's gonna end. All of that talk with Giannis, like, the never ending, won't he be traded? Like, I wonder when that's gonna be over. Giannis talk all postseason, you know? Like from what I was hearing, they were ready to trade him before the NBA draft, and now they're saying that they're not going to trade him till after the draft. What is it? If you're gonna get rid of him, like just get rid of him already. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about them kind of wanting to get rid of him, but not really. And then it's like, you know, they would also drag the Knicks into it a lot because they would be like, yeah, they're going to trade for him. He's going to end up on the team. All this stuff. And now that they've won the championship, they don't even really have to care about him anymore as a possibility. And now it's like, well, who's the next team that's going to get talked about in Giannis trade rumors forever? Oh, it's Boston now. They get to inherit that misery of will they, won't they, and then never happening. Though actually, you know, like unlike with the Knicks, I think Boston actually does stuff. I can talk shit about my team now, okay? I can talk shit about them. I'm allowed to. But yeah, you know, like you know, you'd all be surprised at how much postseason stuff that sports people can talk about. It's like it's the reason why sports stuff, like, you know, even after the season is over, people that follow certain sports can just kind of go on and on about the sports even after the season's over. It's like, what, like, you know, man, like, you guys are still talking about that? It's just the thing, okay? It's just the thing with people who watch the sports. And then, you know, like, for those of you out there that are watching the World Cup right now, I guess, like, I'm not very familiar with the footy, as it were. I don't know the lingo that you guys use. So, like, whenever I hear my friends talk about soccer, right, like, it seems like they're talking in an alien language. I just don't understand anything that they're saying and stuff like that. I just kind of, you know, nod my head and pretend like I actually do understand, but I don't. It's like, I gotta at least try, okay guys, I gotta at least try sometimes. But yeah, holy crap, I just realized how much work her hair is actually taking. It's like, one of the craziest parts about this is that her in-game model, she actually has like a thing, like a hood. I don't know what to call it. It's like a hat type of thing that, or a wrap. I should call it a wrap, like a hair wrap that she has on that makes her look like the characters from Katamari Damacy. Like, she looks like a Katamari character. And then it's like, but I chose to take it off in this artwork because in one of her ending images, she takes it off, and as it turns out, her hair is still under there. It's super long, and I'm like, now struggling to draw all this hair. Oh, like this is just the hair stream, right? Like, this is the Ingrid Ingrid has tons of hair stream. But yeah, you know, like, I think you know, in the coming years will be pretty interesting. I'm super happy with this championship. I hope that they do decide to pay the whole team so that they can run it back. I mean, they deserve to try one more time. I know the core of the team is going to be the same next year, so it's not like they're going to lose you know, the you know, OG or Kat or Mikhail or any of the guys that are like Josh or anything like that, and certainly not Brunson, right? It's not like they're gonna lose those guys, but, you know, like, some of the role players that were there on the team, like Shamit and Mitch, right? Like, if they lose them, that's like that's actually a bigger loss than what most people would think. You know, those role players did a huge job, like of you know, making big shots and big plays at seriously very important times for the team. So you know, it'll be sad to see them go, and then they have to figure out how to replace their production, you know, with some other people that they can might be able to sign, or you know, or they could develop. I prefer the development route. You know, but you know, not it's not like I'm running the team, so I don't have a say in that. But yeah, you know, like exciting times, fun times. Perhaps one day we will get Biscotti to help in our basketball dreams. I will just trick like say the WNBA to believe that Biscotti is her own autonomous human being, and I will pilot Biscotti from a secret area, and she shall play for one of the teams there. Or we could pull a Monstars. We could steal Caitlin Clark's powers and implant them in Biscotti, and then have Biscotti go and own the league. Maybe that's the key. Yeah, Delio Ratatouille. Yeah, you know, they won't know the difference. How could they ever tell? They will never know. They will be none the wiser. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay, hold on. I need to make this smaller. There we go. Okay. Oops. Okay. And then I'm gonna have to add a lot of different little hair, smaller hair strands to this too, to round out the look of what it's supposed to kind of look like. So yeah, hair is always like when you do line art for hair. Now I've started to try to do the method of using blocking out large areas of color to represent the hair and stuff like that, and then doing some line art around the that's a whole lot easier for me. But man, like this one, I didn't do that, and now I'm like trying to get all the individual hairs there, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I didn't want to do it like that, because it's annoying to do. Ah, it's so annoying. But yeah, well, actually, you know what? It might not be that believable for Biscotti. I don't think she has the height, because despite the fact that she is much taller than myself, she is still proportioned to an average person's height, and not like an NBA player's height, right? So maybe it wouldn't really work. It won't convince them that you know, to get her on the team. You know, they'd be like, you don't look like a basketball player. That's exactly what's gonna happen. She's gonna go up to them, and they're gonna be like, yeah, you don't look like you're a basketball player. Like, wait, which school did you come out of? And then like I just have to duck out of there really quick before they start asking more questions. And then that's when you hit them with the That's ableist. I know, right? I'm starting to get hungry too now, so I gotta start thinking about what I'm gonna do for dinner. I know someone in here mentioned dinner earlier, so it started making me think about it a little bit early. I think it was Nomis. Nomis mentioned it earlier, and I was like, oh, I gotta think about what I'm gonna do for dinner as well. I did make like a whole bunch of pasta with little sausages and things like that for me. For myself, I ate that for a couple of days though. Like that was actually like I made too much because I pulled a Mooney. I will call it a pulling a Mooney, where Mooney cooks in batches, right? That is like for the both of us usually. But then when I'm not around, she continues to do that, and then realizes afterwards, like, oh yeah, that's right. Bard's not here to eat the rest. So I pulled a Mooney, and I need to I had to eat the rest of it for like a couple of days, which was not bad. It was my attempt to use what was it called? I made it not with tomato sauce. I made it with what they call vodka sauce, which I don't know what they put into vodka sauce. I think it's still tomatoes of some kind, because I think I saw some tomatoes in there, but it's not the same color. It's like more of an orange color, and you can definitely taste a little bit of the so-called vodka, I guess, that was probably once in there, but then it's like cooked out of it or something. I don't really know. I don't know anything about food, so I could be talking out of my ass. I don't know anything about how they make it, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good, you know? I know that they've made pizza with it a couple of times, so I saw it in the store and I bought it. It's a pretty adorable reason to make too much food. Mooney will do that from time to time, especially when we're separated at the moment, right? Not separated in that way, but rather I'm, because of my work, as you guys know, I have to travel back and forth between Cappytown and Bounty Hunterville. So there are times in the year where I'm actually not at home with Mooney. I swear, every time I check this stream, it is the same part of the same song. What's up? What's up, voila? Is that how you said? You said some people call you voila, or volia, volia. Yeah, because of being a secret agent, man. Yeah, clearly. Volia. Okay, volia. Yeah. But yeah, how you doing? It's always the same part of the song. Maybe the song is trying to tell you something. But yeah, like we were just recording our podcast for Sports Center earlier. Like you just missed that part, but that's okay. Maybe you don't care about the Sports Center. I should make my stream intro music to Silly Birds genre. This is what it's timing. I do really like this song just because I think for me it's more that it's the kind of mood that I want to like have with this stream, right? Like I always feel like when it comes to drawing, like and I'll be the first to say, watching somebody draw something is not like the most exciting thing in the world, right? Like, so it's like I wanted a song to be more more comfy, because this is really more of what art streams are kind of like for me. It's like, a comfy experience and stuff like that, like when I watch others do their art streams and stuff like that. So I don't really want the most bombastic type music, even though my beginning music is like crazy, right? Like I got that music from actually it's from a game. It's actually the collab music from Azure Lane for Atelier Ryza. like the during the battle scenes and stuff like that. So that I don't know why I really like this. So I just put it in there as the beginning of the stream, and it's like it's so crazy compared to what the actual stream ends up being. But I do like how it changes so suddenly, like from that to this comfy mood and stuff. The call and response is so fun. It's like the Kirby game levels of wholesome, Our streams are basically just chatting streams, and so depend on you being entertaining from just chatting, which you do. Oh, do you think so? I don't really think I'm actually very good at chatting with people. I'm actually really like in social like what like social events and things like that, right? Like I'm always looking for my exit strategy. I'm always very very cautious about chatting with a lot of people. I have trouble like maintaining conversations and things like that. I guess it helps that I'm technically talking to myself a lot. It's not that you guys aren't here or anything like that, but like I think like because we're not in person and stuff like that, it helps me a lot in a lot of ways. If that makes sense. I'm not I in life I'm not actually in real life I'm not actually the most personable individual, let's just say. A secret agent man would also be looking at an exit strategy. I'm on to you. No, Captain, no. I'm not a secret agent man. I would be a very horrible secret agent man. I'm just a capybara. I don't secret or agent very well. How can I secret or agent when I'm not even a man? Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I have everything in the right places with the hair. It can get very confusing for me, and I'm actually drawing more line art for this hair than I would normally do for hair in general. Because again, like a lot of times I prefer to do hair as more of a color thing and less as like with line art and stuff like that. Who would suspect the capybara to be a spy? That is exactly how. Oh, is that giving me away? Is that what's giving me away? It's the fact that I am a capybara. Look. I'm not saying I am, and I'm not saying I ain't. But quite possibly, you guys have the wrong idea here. I'm just saying, you guys might have the wrong idea here about who's the spy. Now look away while I quietly type to no one in particular. That's one of the main plot points in quite a few shows and movies, actually, like in Animal. The animal's a spy. No! No, it's not. Like, trust me, it's not. Onegai muscle? We got an Onegai muscle. Speaking of which, movies. I have a very, I don't watch too many movies, as of late, but I do like myself a lot of sci-fi and, action type movies. So I do still watch a lot of superhero movies. I'm a little bit, I saw that new Spider-Man trailer, so I'm like kind of like, oh shoot, I need to watch it because I just have always watched those Spider-Man movies for some reason. I've just always have caught them, so I think I need to go watch that. I also saw that there was a trailer for that James Gunn Supergirl movie, which is like, I don't know what to think about it because it looks good, but I almost feel like, is this going to be another case of like the studio made the movie but they don't really believe in it, so they're, you know what I mean, like, because it feels like they're kind of just throwing it out there, and I don't know, like, I hope for the best, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The last movie I saw was the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Oh, I did not see that yet. I actually watch, I used to watch a lot of horror movies. Mooney does not really watch horror movies all that much, so I don't really watch them all that much myself either these days, right? But I used to be a very big connoisseur of horror stuff, because I would just constantly be around people who would want to watch horror movies and things like that. So I feel my movie taste is weird because I think Playtime is my favorite movie. What kind of movie is Playtime actually? What I don't think I know that one. But then again, I might just be out of touch with a lot of things these days, just like my gaming and stuff like that. I'm so out of touch with certain games and certain genres. But the Knicks still won before GTA 6. I can't believe that actually happened. That's so crazy. It's a French comedy where you see a few days of life in a very goofy world. Oh, okay, okay. Like, absurdity in as a topic, for movies. Like, a lot of people don't really explore it all that much. I used to watch a heck of a lot of sci-fi and action movies. Like, I would watch stuff like, you know, RoboCop. RoboCop was actually one of my favorite movies growing up. uh it's hyper violent. And then, like, I would watch stuff like, Terminator, Aliens, things like that. I used to be like all about that sort of genre, and then kind of coming out of high school and stuff like that, I would also be watching, like, a lot of fantasy movies, because I had a lot of friends who did the fantasy thing. Like, they watched the heck out of, like, the Lord of the Rings movies and things like that. So I'm literally forgetting where everything is supposed to be right now. That is a okay. Get rid of that, but then put that. Okay. And I'm trying to add lines that indicate, like, hair direction and streaks, but I don't want to add too many lines to this, right? Like so many lines that it looks like, there's a whole lot of thin strands of hair. You just want to indicate um like a direction for where the hair is going and stuff like that, right? And then just keep it to the bigger blocks of hair, because that's kind of how our hair in real life kind of behaves. A lot of it just kind of becomes these big groups of hair, as opposed to just like seeing every individual strand like everywhere, right? So that's why I'm doing this like the way that I'm doing it. So it's been 8 years since the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer launch. Really? Holy crap. You can rewatch it so many times because there's something happening all around the screen and you catch something new on every viewing. Oh, really? Also, a lot of the actors are just people, not professional actors, so it feels very genuine in the absurdity. I hate it when hair becomes individual strands. Yeah, like whenever this is a tip for those of you who actually are into the artwork aspect of this all. When you do hair, don't try to draw every strand individually, because like in terms of art, even when you're painting, right? Like if you're doing a more painterly style, you're blocking in the colors in groups, like big groups and stuff like that, and then you're adding small details to indicate the direction of the hair and generally, like, that there is hair there, but you don't want to always like individually put every strand. Like you're not, like if you draw like a fuzzy character, right? You're not gonna like try to draw every single hair on the character, right? Like this becomes like crazy. Like if you're trying to draw a mustache, like you can't really do that because that's going to take you forever, number one, and that's not really how the eye sees things. Like you're not seeing every single individual speck unless you're like super close to it. So 1 pixel art, 1 pixel art airbrush brush and a dream. But yeah, like that's the advice I would give anybody with when it comes to hair and stuff like that. Don't try to do that, because it just doesn't actually look that way, and it's not gonna look good at the end. There's so much hair there that like the eye can't really process all that's going on there, and then like you've wasted a lot of time doing that without a good result at the end. So Okay, damn, I did a lot of hair there. The only thing is maybe some of the hair here might be too long, but that's okay. She's kind of a goddess herself, so it doesn't matter how long her hair is, right? Like it's she probably can grow and shrink it at will, to be honest. Like I almost think that might be a thing for her. Oops. Okay, what else did we... Oh, wow, the time really flew. I actually have only really a couple of minutes left, which, does suck, but we actually got a lot done, in terms of this today, so, not bad, actually, because, like, a major part of this was always going to be the hair, right? So, as long as we got that done... we can get little parts of this now, so... No, not like that. So when she takes off her hair thing, I guess, like all of this, right? She has a little bit of it left here. sort of like that. I guess like that, yeah, it's fine. Whoops. Time flies when you etc etc, you know? Not me spending 8 hours drawing circles one time. Oh, you're doing circle practice? Don't forget to watch the Immerhater vid when you have the time. Oh yeah, that's right, yeah, because you said you DM'd it to me, right? Like, I'll check it out. I definitely want to check it out. Oh, that's right. It's not actually a straight line going down like that. I did that. This is the wrong thing to do. Whoops. And this is also the bane of my existence, right? Sometimes when I do fan art, I have to figure out what the character model, like, to stay on model, what things look like and stuff. And the problem is sometimes I don't have the best references for these things, right? Like, I would like to stay on model, but I can't tell what the heck anything looks like sometimes. So I gotta make some guesses, and you know, I don't always make the best guesses. It's actually this way. It goes like this. And then something over here. I think the buttons are more square shape up here. They could be rounder. But again, I can't really tell, so I'll have to take a look at and see if I could find better references for this. You really want to go watch Playtime again now? Wow. Where do you watch it? Is it on like one of the streaming platforms and stuff like that? Or or is this one of those cases where you have to sail the seas, of which I know nothing about? I don't sail the seas. I know nothing of this. I think it is now on Netflix. I do not have it though. Oh, I am unsure. Gotta go see you around. Yeah, thanks for dropping by, Blue Blue. Super appreciate it. Found a YouTube upload of the full movie. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, YouTube, you having full uploads of movies somehow in some way, of which we know not how. Okay, and then we add this part over here, because armpit. I'm just extending the line upwards to so that I can figure this part out for myself. Because sometimes I'll do that to so that I can know where the connections all go. Um, it is from 1967, so oh wow. You know, it's like it's from an era where they were definitely experimenting in a very different way, right? But experimentation with media was still a thing, right? Like people would try different things because the medium is still growing and stuff like that. Become like um it hasn't become like the way it is now where everything has been so focus tested to hell that there's like a certain thing that they want to constantly do because that's just what all their testing has told them, that this is what's going to make the most money and stuff like that, right? Like it would surprise a lot of people to learn that there was a time in movie history where actually making sequels was like a horrible idea because they thought that making a sequel would actually be the nail in the coffin for a lot of movies. Like once you've already done it once before, why would you ever do it again, right? Like that was like the thought in those days and stuff like that. So it's very surprising for people to learn that because these days it's like everything is kind of made with a sequel in mind, right? Anatomy is really hard for me to draw, but seeing problems in it is really easy. I might just be too critical then. Um, I dislike a lot of pop media because it has just been made to be so generalized. Yeah, it really is, you know. But you know what it is. I don't think it's necessarily you being too critical. Um, because okay, here's the thing that people misunderstand about artists, right? A lot of times a lot of people think that every artist knows like they've read like an anatomical uh a reference and they've memorized it and stuff like that. A lot of people do, a lot of artists do, right? But the thing about artists and anatomy is that there's a lot of artists out there who know the anatomy, but they know the idea about the anatomy and stuff like that, right? Like they know the certain ways to formulate certain things in terms of anatomy, but it's not like they have like the encyclopedic knowledge of anatomy the way that a doctor has, you know? Like it's just the recall and observation that they have, right? But the thing is, when you draw certain things that even people who are not artists, are familiar with, you can tell no matter what that something is off. It's like whenever somebody, that's why anybody can draw fan art of a character, right? But if they're in a relatively human-like shape, right? Then even people who are not trained artists can actually see certain things are not lining up as much as that you would think that they would be, right? So that's why a lot of times when you hear that art, like with art criticism, like when people criticize a certain piece, right? And they're like, well, I'm not an artist, but I could tell that that's off. Actually, yeah, you should believe them that because like like these things are things that everybody sees every day, like on people and in their surroundings and stuff like that. They might not know that the technical terms or the technical things about it, but they can tell that something's off. So if that's how I've always kind of approached certain art things. If somebody who is not an artist is telling me that they could tell something is off here, then I kind of believe them, because it's like, okay, if they can tell something's off, then I really messed up hair. So I should figure out a way to fix that and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I approach certain art things. Like I kind of listen to the people around me when they tell me certain things like that. I know that's not really the way that some people do it, but that's kind of the way that I do it, you know? And you know, like sometimes it works, you know, sometimes it works. Because again, you know, like these are not like hidden secrets or anything like that. These are things that everybody says and sees on a daily basis, right? Nostalgia is so good for money. It really is. Nostalgia is definitely good for money. I come from an era where now all of that nostalgia is back in every single media possible, because that makes money for these companies like crazy. So yeah, that is the case, you know. Literally asking a musician friend of mine what scales, and he went, "The what?" I meant of my own work, by the way, just to be clear. Oh no, I know that. But you know, like it is again, like, you know, like it's just a general like observation of minds, right? That I make of certain things, right? So it's like I totally get that. I totally get that, you know. But yeah, like I think we did quite a bit of work today on this, you know? Like I'm happy with the progress on this. I thought I would be a lot faster further along and a lot faster with doing the line art of this one, but you know, again, it does take me like a gazillion years to do line art for any of the ones that I do. That's a lot of the reason why Mooney helps me a lot with the coloring portion of these afterwards and stuff like that. It's because I do take forever when it comes to doing line art and stuff like that. So you know, you can only be so lucky to have someone be able to help you with coloring, you know. Like I don't take that for granted, that Mooney is definitely a huge help for me when it comes to these situations. Okay. The collaboration is very cute. Is it? Is it very cute? And you know, like, because we have our brand Cappy Buds together, you know, it also allows us to collaborate like truly on our artwork by doing that. Like I could, you know, we can truly say that, you know, we both worked on all the products and things like that together that we come up with for Cappy Buds and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things that, like, you know, it just makes so much sense for us to work like this when it comes to doing artwork stuff. And I just realized that this is a little bit off from the way that I did it originally, so I want to fix this a little bit. Okay, we can actually now save this because we made a huge amount of progress on the hair at the very least. And then I gotta figure out what's for dinner now. Okay, cool. It is? Oh, okay. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you think so. But yeah, you know, like I'm out of time today. I wish I could actually, you know, kind of continue going, right? But, you know, the unfortunate part for me is that I got to make dinner for myself, and then also like worry about some others evening stuff, because and then tomorrow's like a work day and all that stuff. So unfortunately I can't stay on to actually continue arting throughout the rest of the night and stuff like that. But I am happy with the progress we did already make with this. It's like it's a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. But this one I could see the line art for it being completed pretty quickly. I just got like a little bit of I gotta fix this somehow, but because I'm noticing that the shoulders here, right, they are drawn in one angle and then the rest of it is in another angle, and I think I need to change the way that the shoulders are drawn. I did try to edit it a little bit so that more of the underneath part of the cape is up, but because of this being a round shape in this direction is causing it to look like the shoulders are in a different angle, especially over here. I think what I'm messing up with is here in the collar, because the collar has the U shape, the underneath, like the concave shape, where it should probably be more convex. Let me try it real quick. Actually, before we hang it up tonight, let me try this really quick, because this is causing me to think that it's the wrong angle and stuff like that. And yeah, I think you know what it is. Yeah, this is definitely what's causing me to think that the whole thing is the wrong angle. Because it really should be coming yeah, I gotta figure it out. I'll erase this for now and then redo it later. Because if I try to fix it now, it's gonna be me here 6 hours starving myself into a little cappy skeleton. A new shift into multi-genre streaming. Turn your kitchen into a live stream setup too. Maybe I should. The chin feels kind of weird to me because of the lines. Oh yeah, you think, right? It's like maybe, right? We'll figure it out. It's like, sometimes you just gotta look at it from different angles and stuff like that and see what's going on here and stuff like that. And like, yeah, the chin might feel like it's a little bit off too because of where the lines are showing up and stuff like that. So it's like I always fix these things during this stage anyways, so I don't mind screwing up with certain things, and then like making edits to it afterwards and stuff like that. It's all part of the journey. And like the important part is not just recognizing what is off, but being willing to make the fix because it's off. Like it's not just like spotting it, but rather being willing to go like, what, this is probably not the right thing here, so let me fix it so that it is. Yeah, for some reason I was just so off from where my line art was. Like, what the hell's going on? Okay, so I will be back on Tuesday. So I usually stream from Tuesday to Thursday, 2 hours a night, starting 6 p.m. Eastern time. Um, I thought I would be further along with this. So maybe I'll just continue to do this line art until it's done, and then we will move into coloring Neon after this, because like Mooney has already completed the flats on that and some of the details. I really like the way that Mooney was actually constructing the eyes, so I'm gonna try to keep some of that and add a little bit more of the glossy and the glossy and reflective elements to it. But yeah, the evil concaveness, right? It might be because it goes in an implied circle with like the chest area and the neck accessory. Yeah. It goes into this weird circle, right? And it is there on her character, but the problem is that it makes me think that the shoulders are in a different angle than the rest of it, right? So that's why I lifted up to where like her cape. Normally originally I had her cape going around the shoulders in the same angle, I guess, right? So it made the whole setup of her shoulders look like really off. But then I lifted this part up where her cape is, like at an angle, instead of making it go along with the rest of it. So it helped a little bit, but I still feel like well, we'll see what happens when I get the line art and the coloring in. But yeah, I am gonna go look for food, and I will have a good food. But let's see. Not generate bard raid. I always have to say so, and definitely not degenerate bard raid. If you guys wanna, the cape just covers her head in the end as she right. It just covers all of it at the end. But hello, Mooney, how are you? I'm gonna go look for food now, but I gotta go and look for somebody to raid. And so let's see who's on. Let's see what's going on. Who's on and who should be raided. Let's see. I see some more arting. I see someone playing a certain Persona game too. Let's see. Some more arting. Always looking for people I do need to go see. No problem. Thanks for dropping by and having a chat with us, Always appreciate you guys stopping by and saying hello. So I am gonna actually go ahead because they are gonna probably do some art later after playing some P5X. So here we go. We're gonna pay a visit to some lewd tentacles, and yeah, here we go. I'll be back on Tuesday 6 p.m. Eastern time to do more arting, and yeah, hopefully you guys have a good weekend. It's close to the weekend, so hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. Laters. Wait, oh, it didn't raid immediately. I forgot. You always have to wait. I always forget you have to wait. Okay. Here we go. All right. See you guys next time. All right.